event, but I didn't catch this fight, so I'm watching it, man. And I'm sitting here, I think it's like round 8 or 9 right now. It just inspired me to do a video because this dude is the goods. I guess he turned pro in 2008. But, you know, whenever I watch these fights, if it's not live and, you know, if I didn't pay for the pay-per-view, I'll usually turn the sound down so I can get my own assessment of what's going on. And this dude is the goods, man. Good footwork, good head movement, good shoulder movement. He keeps his hands in punching position. He can switch it up, righty, lefty. And he's pretty much, and for a guy that's just 19-0, you know, 15 knockouts, I believe, but I think he's 19-0. He made it to the Olympics. Well, he was an alternate. But that's pretty damn good in itself, too. But from what I'm seeing, man, he's pretty much putting on a boxing clinic with Breeders Prescott. Prescott, you know, is something you don't know. He's got it knocked out Amir Khan. I actually saw him fight Paul McCloskey. I thought he won that fight. But
YTBC, what's the deal? So this was a video that I took. Was this April 14th, 2013. So this is just my video on the post-fight of the Dierry Jean and Terence Crawford fight. Like I said 2.5 years ago, I've been impressed with this kid, man. He did exactly what I thought he was going to do in this fight. I'm not really going to break the fight down and what happened in it. I'm sure you guys have either watched the fight yourself or you've been on the YTBC listening to other uploaders. Lefty, righty, beat him down, outboxed him. Better footwork, better head movement. The heart of a fighter. He's not scared to travel. He went and beat Ricky Burns for the strap out in Scotland. You know, we know a lot of American fighters don't want anything to do with traveling. Now, there are some exceptions, guys like Tony Thompson, and there are guys that do travel, but usually young guys, they try to protect their O, and they're not really trying to go overseas. Even Deontay Wilder went overseas and fought Ali Harrison. But usually guys don't want to travel, man. It's pretty much what should he do now? You know, we know that if you go to 140, Terence Crawford's the WBO champion. Adrian Bronner's the WBA champion. Victor Postal is the WBC champion. And Cesar Cuenca is the IBF champion. I want to see some clarity. You know, I'm going to keep it the same way I keep it in every division. I really like Terence Crawford. He put on a show. He's very popular out there in Nebraska. I have immediate family that lives in La Vista, Nebraska, and they told me that he is very popular out there. We know that when you go to Cornhusker country, it's all about football. You know, he's not bigger than Nebraska football. Let's not take it that far, but he is gaining a lot of fans. He can pack 11, 12,000 people into a venue, and they will scream for him, and you know what I mean? So it's good when I see the Midwest guys, they can sell out Midwest venues. Kind of remind me of Michael Nunn, which was from Iowa, and he used to do the same thing during his run at middleweight. But I want to see some unification. You know, I see it when I looked at the WBO rankings. They had Lucas Matisse #1, which he just lost to Victor Postal, so he won't be there when they refresh these rankings. #2 is Jason Pagara. #3 is Mauricio Herrera. #4 is Provatnikov, and #5 was Jose Felix Jr. #6 was John, and then #7 you have Amir Aman, and I would like to see him fight Aman. Now I know Aman is #1 for the WBC title against Postal, so a fight with, you know, I think Aman will probably fight Postal, but he is also rated #7. So if he can't get the fight, and Crawford's, you know, trying to keep a name for himself, and he wants, you know, a name that people know, Amir Aman's an HBO fighter, that can be a good fight. But so is Postal. So I think they'll get the Postal and Aman fight cracking, hopefully. I like to see him fight Bronner. Also, I had another old video where I said, I made it probably like a month after I made that one, that I just showed you guys, that I said that Bronner and Crawford paths will probably cross within a few years. And this was 3 years ago. So if they fight, my prediction was right. The Cuenca, the IBF champion, he's 48-0 with 2 knockouts. He has a fight coming up here November 4th against another undefeated guy. I forgot the guy's name. I don't want to butcher the guy's name, but the guy's 22-0. You know, hopefully there's no fans that's going to run around and say he's TBE, he's 49-0. You know what I mean? So I guess this guy's going to tie Rocky Marciano's record too. You know, I guess everybody's going to fucking tie his record. But I would say he's the weakest out of all the champions. I have watched him, but when you have 48 fights and only 2 knockouts, you're going to have to sit down on punches and make these other guys respect you. And I don't know if Kiwinka can make a guy like Postol, Bronner, or Crawford respect him. So he may be the weaker of the 4 title holders. But again, let's get him in the ring. Maybe he can outbox these guys. I mean, he is 48-0, although not against, you know, stellar competition. But hey, he's 48-0, right? One thing about HBO I'll give them props for is they brung up Howard Davis Jr. He's battling lung cancer, and he was an outstanding boxer, man. He was on that 76 Olympic team, Ray Leonard and the Spinks brothers, and he won that Val Barker trophy, which Roy Jones brought up, and that's pretty much for the pound for pound best fighter of the tournament, or the, you know, most outstanding boxer of the tournament. And for him to win it over Ray Leonard and the Spinks brothers, pretty impressive. Let you know how good America was, you know, especially back then, the 76, 80s, we didn't participate, but the 84 team, the 88 team, people think the 84 team's the best, but our Olympic history, man, is pretty in depth. And Howard Davis Jr. was definitely a very good amateur. In the pros, he couldn't win a world title. He did compete for a world title a few times. Evan Rosario, the Buddy McGirt. Some of you probably remember his last fight against Dana Rosenblatt when he came back from retirement. But props for them for doing that. But yeah, back to Crawford. I'm really not surprised. I mean, not really much to talk about. I was impressed, but I'm always impressed when this young man steps out. Like I say, he went and traveled and fought Ricky Burns, and a lot of people thought that that Burns had lost to Beltran. I did. I certainly did. People thought that Burns got a gift decision. So what did Crawford do after he beat Burns? He went and fought Beltran and beat him too. Then he had the Gamboa win, which was a good win. I mean, and it's funny because when I first saw Terence Crawford, when he was switching up from righty to lefty, I was like, man, when he stands in orthodox, that's his, you know, he's more on balance. He can land better power shots and he's more aggressive. Then I watched this fight when he, you know, then I also was thinking back then that when he switches to southpaw, he does it to control the range and the distance a little bit better because he's leading with his right hand and he's able to use that jab to control. He's gotten better, man, over the last 3 years. Now, out of southpaw, he's aggressive. I've seen him, you know, now it's like he's leading with that right hand, not only to jab and control the distance, but he's landing that sneaky right hook. And it looks like he can control the range and distance when he's in orthodox now, too. So yeah, he's busting John up. I'm watching the 9th round right now, watching the fight again, but and see, he's in southpaw right now, and he's hurting John. We just knocked him down, busting. He's holding the back of his head. But so yeah, 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago, I thought when he switched to southpaw, it was more just to control the range and distance from just what he showed in fights. The Ricky Burns fight is a perfect example. Him just controlling the range. Crawford a little dog in him too, though, man. I know Max Kellerman brought this up, but he's right. He talks shit. He's yelling at Jean right now. He was always doing something in this fight to Jean, rather directing him back to his corner, but he was doing it in a, you know, like a, not in a friendly way, not in a, hey, you know, your corner's, you know, wrong corner, guy. No, he's like, get the fuck out of my corner, man. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the round right here, it looked like John was saying the back of his head, and you could see Crawford was saying something to him, like yelling at him, like, looked like he was saying, man, shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? He has that in him, and I like that. I heard the brother Jay Cotto say that he's baby Hearns, you know, but everything's there, the skill, the ability. He is, you know, he isn't perfect. I do see some vulnerability as far as him wanting to stand and trade. Now, maybe against Postol, maybe that might not be the smart thing to do, you know, but he does have willingness to stand and trade. Maybe against Bronner, maybe it's not the right thing to do against Bronner. I don't know, but he is willing to stand and trade when he needs to. He will go for the kill. If he smells blood, he will go for the knockout, but I've also seen him box guys too. See, yeah, right now he's in southpaw and he's going for the kill. And 2 years ago, southpaw was him trying to box. So he's switching it up and he's getting better, man. He's getting better in time. He's not like a lot of up-and-coming guys who they pretty much pan out around the age of 25, 26. It looks like Crawford's getting better. Yeah, he's breaking John down. It's the 10th round. He's breaking him down now. But I was impressed by the kid, you know. YTBC. I'm out.